Hello, everyone, and welcome to Padawan Unlimited. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the cards that were revealed over the last week. We are in the midst of spoiler season, getting ready for set 4, Jump to Lightspeed, and these cards right now, I think, are so great. A lot of them that have been revealed, and I'm not going to talk about all of them today, but just a few, are really fantastic. But for those of you who are new to the game, Star Wars Unlimited is a trading card game based off the Star Wars IP that came out from Fantasy Flight Games last March to 2024. We every 4 months they release a new set. They had set one, which is Spark of Rebellion. Set two was Shadows of the Galaxy. Set three, Twilight of the Republic, and set four is Jump to Lightspeed. Jump to Lightspeed is really focused on vehicles, both in the space and on the ground, as well as piloting, which is a new mechanic. There are a variety of other mechanics, which I can talk about if you listen on the podcast, but not so much I'm going to talk about here. So with each new set, there's obviously a variety of new cards that do a bunch of new things. And I kind of want to do a grading session today on just some 5 cards that came out within the last week. Um, and knowing that, everyone kind of has different interpretations of what's good, right? I'm just using mine for the grading guidelines here. Are very two simple ones, keeping it very clear, keeping it very concise. The first is effects. And the second is stats. For effects, we're looking for broad applicability. Does it go in a variety of decks? Is it locked into one aspect or two aspects? For example, what are the synergies, like the traits, the keywords? Can the effects be well utilized across a wide open field, or does it really only work in very specific combinations? And the second one here I want to talk about is if it is a unit, because of the cards, there's units, leaders, um, events and upgrades, or upgrade cards, um, or equipment cards, for example. I want to talk about stats. So for units, what are the stats? Are they above or below what you would typically see for the cost of that card? So for example, a 2-drop or 2-cost card is Battlefield Marine. That Battlefield Marine has a 3 attack and 3 health stat line, which is really, really good for that type of cost, right? And so looking at the stats, is it worth it? How much total stats do you get for that card? If is it above or below, like kind of the average. So these are my basic guidelines. And depending on, some subject, it's being a little subjective, I'm going to rank from S, which is like, you need to put this on every deck you have, all the way to like D or F rank, which is like, you're not going to use this as chaff. You might as well like throw it, throw away the card. And I'm going to be very brief here because I don't want to go on for an hour talking about, just 5 cards. So what we're going to talk about here, I have 5 cards across each of the aspects, and we'll do a really quick 30-second review. So of each one. So the first one I have here is Corvus. It's a space unit. It has it's 5 cost. It is vigilant villainy for 4 attack, 5 health, 3 keywords or 3 traits, which Imperial vehicle, capital ship. Restore 2 and has a really interesting when played ability. When you may attach a friendly pilot unit or upgrade to this unit. So not only a pilot, but any other upgrade that's out there. Stat line's a little low, but that's okay because you're getting in exchange, you're getting a when played ability, which gives you action economy within the game. Also helps you kind of, help dodge lanes if you need to, and it also gives you a restore 2, which is pretty good. I would give this a solid B ranking right now because we haven't seen the full set. Only about a third or so of the set 4 has come out, so need to see how this kind of really plays out. But this seems to be a pretty decent card. But we'll see in the future. So I'm giving it B, potentially A. It is also locked into villainy, so this is only for like the villainy type of decks. Now going into the second card, Eject. This card is an event card, 2 costs, command, detach a pilot upgrade, move it to the ground arena as a unit, and exhaust it, draw a card. This card is fantastic. I'm giving this a solid A because not only is it really cheap in terms of 2 cost, it is not locked into the villainy or heroism aspects. It's just command, which is great. Also, in terms of card economy, you're using a card to get a card for 2. That's fantastic. So your hand's still going to stay the same. So if they have hand disruption, for example, fantastic. Also lets you filter through cards whenever you need to, and then also if a unit's about to die in space or get defeated, for example, or ground, you get to just remove the pilot and move it to the ground arena as a unit. That's fantastic. I think that's going to be a really well played card. I'm not going to say S yet because again we haven't seen the full set out there, but I think there's a lot of applicability here. Fantastic card. Kinding and keeping in theme, you have number is with the aggression card is a 2 cost for aggression. Stay on target. Another event card. Attack with a vehicle unit. For this attack, it gets +2 and gains when this unit deals damage to a base. Draw a card. I think this is also really good. I'm going to give this more of a B plus. The reason I say this is because it's not anything. It's only a vehicle. All the +2 is great. When this unit deals damage to base, draw a card. That's also fantastic. But again, there's a lot of things that could potentially block this. So it's not as broadly applicable as, let's say, eject, right? Because if someone has a sentinel, for example, they're gonna, they're going to make it so that you can't hit the base. So you don't really get to draw the card. You get a +2, which potentially, wipes the other side. But again, pretty solid. Not as, in my opinion, not as good as eject for the respective aspect, but still really solid B plus. Guerrilla Soldier, 3 cost cunning card. It's a 2 attack, 3 health, 3 key, 3 traits. Fringe, Twi'lek Trooper. You don't really see too much about Fringe or Twi'lek right now, but you do see Trooper, which is good. There's a lot of Trooper synergies out there. So we think about Rex, for example. And has a really interesting when played. So when played, deal 3 indirect damage to a player. If a base is damaged this way, ready this unit. So this is really good, for example, in those Han 1 decks for playing it for 3, because if they don't have a unit on the board, then you're going to be doing 3 damage potentially to the base, and then 2 more from him because he's going to be ready. If they don't deal with it immediately afterwards, that could potentially be 5 damage to the base on round 2, turn 2, just for playing a card. I think that's really, really good. Again, a solid B plus. You're not gonna give it an A yet, but this is gonna be definitely be a card, especially as common and in like limited. Really like a solid B plus, A minus. I think I'll probably lean A minus here. I think it's a fantastic ground unit to have. And then finally, we have Sabine's Masterpiece, which is a 3 cost heroism space unit that has 4 traits. Rebel Vehicle Fighter Spectre, which is amazing for synergies. It has a 3 attack and 3 health. It's a rare, so it's not even a legendary card, so you can easily get it. And on attack, if you control any of the 4 other aspects, so the vigilance, command, aggression, cunning, you get to do something new, something different. So when we think about broad applicability and we think about stats, these stats are really good. I mean, could be better, I guess, but these are actually really good. 3/3 for 6 total stats when other units at this range are like at 7. So, for example, the Arc 170 from set 3 is a 3/4 for 3, but this also gets all these on attack abilities. Oh, I mean, if this is not A plus, almost S tier in terms of heroism specifically, because it's not locked. Again, it's not locked into a specific aspect. It's just heroism. This is gonna be a killer card. Okay. I'm giving it A plus. I'm not going to S yet because I don't know what else is out there. But in terms of just what kind of mobility it gives you in the game, this card is going to slay. Okay. Anyway, so that's my review. If there is anything else, if you disagree with my assessment, please let me know. If you think some of these cards are actually worse or better than how I've assessed them, please share in the comments. Liking and subscribing is really helpful. And who knows, maybe I'll do another raffle. Anyway, until next time, hope you enjoyed this video and may the force be with you.